What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another Daily Deck Tech video. Sorry that I am not the most energetic today. I had a fun time having to call an ambulance to the side of the road to come get me and take me to the ER Thursday night. That's why we didn't have a video on Friday. But despite the fact that I'm still feeling like garbage, my stomach is still just absolutely locked up and not fun. Trying to get back into the things because these videos bring me a lot of joy and happiness. So without further ado, let's get into Chatterfang Squirrel General, shall we? So Chatterfang is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. He's a 3/3 for 3 with Forest Walk, so you know if your opponents have forests, he can't be blocked. If one or more tokens you would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. And then you can pay 1 black and sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets plus X minus X until end of turn. So we're gonna be doing a tokens deck. This is more of a budget build at 137.35. Tried to get it below 100, but just couldn't quite get there. But I don't think $137 is too bad. Of course, you can use the sacrificing of the squirrels to pump things and or kill things. I would recommend, at least in this deck, using it to kill things. But how are we going to overwhelm our opponents? Well, we've got quite a bit in here. We have Academy Manufacturer, because we do have ways to create things like food, clues, and treasures. And those will all then generate some squirrel tokens as well. We have Bellageros Witherbloom. He's a 4/4 for 7. Flying, and at the beginning of each upkeep, you create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. I actually am a massive fan of pest tokens because of just how much utility they have. Then you can pay 10 life, untap all lands you control, activate only once each turn. End Raise Forerunners is just a smaller, less powerful Craterhoof Behemoth. Gilded Goose, when it enters, you create a food. You can sack a food to Birds of Paradise with it, or you can pay 2 and tap it to create a food. We have Hazel of Rootbloom. You can pay 2 life, tap X untapped tokens you control, add X mana of any combination of colors, and at the beginning of your end step, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. If that token is a squirrel, and create 2 tokens. We have Jaheira, so all of our tokens will be able to add green. Land of War Elves, Little Dork. I actually really like this jumpstart art. Not as actually my favorite art though for Land of War Elves is the 7th edition one. Then we have Mirkwood Bats. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life. This can just straight up kill your opponents if you have things like Scoot Swarm in play and manage to get more lands. Speaking of which, we got Scoot Swarm, which is a 1/1 for 3. With Landfall, whenever a land you control enters, you create a 1/1 green insect creature token. And if you control 6 or more lands, you get to create a copy of Scoot Swarm instead. This gets very out of hand very quickly. It's one of my favorite cards in all Magic. It is my wife's favorite Magic card. We have Nadir Nightblade. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. We have Namata, Primeval Warden, a 3/4 for 4 with the stained glass art here. Reach, if a creature and opponent you control would die, exile it instead. When you do, create a 1/1 Saproling token, and then you can sack a Saproling to give Namata +2/+2, or you can sacrifice 2 Saprolings to draw a card. We have Nut Collector. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a squirrel creature token, and then we have Threshold, which is 7 or more cards in your graveyard. All squirrels get +2/+2. Peregrine Took, so if you would create 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, you create those tokens plus an additional food token. I see my daughter has brought our cat Yamato into my office. When we have Pitiless Plunder, whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. We have Poison Tipped Archer. Whenever another creature dies, sorry about that, friends, give me 1 second. What's up? Sorry about that, friends. My tiny human brought my cat Yamato in here and caused a little bit of chaos, as you could probably tell. But back at it. We've got ourselves Pitiless Plunder. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. Then we have Poison Tipped Archer, which is Reach and Death Touch, and whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. This is pretty good since we're going to be sacrificing a bunch of our tokens to Chatterfang's abilities and others. We have Prosperous Innkeeper. When he enters, you create a treasure token, and if another creature entered the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So when we're generating this many tokens, we're going to be able to gain a bunch of life as well. We already went over Scoot Swarm. God, I love this card so much. So many scoots everywhere. We have Squirrel Sovereign. Other squirrels get +1/+1. I had to throw Tireless Provisioner and Tireless Tracker in here because Landfall Tracker gets you a clue token, and Landfall Provisioner gets you either a treasure or a food. They are very strong with each other. Obviously, Tireless Provisioner is a little bit stronger than Tireless Tracker. We got our little squirrel buddy Toski here. He can't be countered and is indestructible, and he attacks each combat if able, and whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So if you have like 21 ones, you can swing through even if they lose to draw a whole bunch of your cards. Valley Rot Color. Menace, and whenever Valley Rot Color attacks, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the number of squirrels, bats, lizards, and rats you control. Then we have Vine Reap Mentor. When it enters or dies, create a food token. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And Zulaport Cutthroat, which is whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1, and you gain 1 life. Sorceries, we've got a few fun ones in here. We've got ourselves Acorn Harvest to put some squirrels into play. Chatter of the Squirrel puts a squirrel in play. Casualties of War blows up a bunch of things for a whole bunch of mana. Chatterstorm, I really like this card. I wish it wasn't a sorcery, but it'd be busted if it wasn't. But we have plenty of stuff that we can play on our turn. So Chatterstorm is create a 1/1 green squirrel token, and it has Storm. Crack Open is destroy target artifact or enchantment, create a treasure token. Cultivate is some ramp. Farseek is also ramp, as well as Kodama's Reach. Harvest Season, and Rampant Growth. We also are running Harmonize in here to draw some cards. Gruesome Fate in here. Each opponent loses 1 life for each creature you control, so if you have 1,000,000 tokens, you just kill all of your opponents. Overruns in here. Again, another budget Crater Hoof sort of effect. Pest Infestation, one of my favorite cards in Magic. It's double X and green. Destroy up to X target artifacts and or enchantments and create twice that many 1/1 black and green pest creature tokens with when this creature dies, you gain a life. And then we have Swarmyard Massacre. Create 2 green squirrel creature tokens. Then each creature that isn't an insect, rat, spider, or squirrel gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each creature you control that's an insect, rat, spider, or squirrel. When you have Scoot Swarm and so many squirrels, you'll be able to kill a lot of creatures. Oh, my stomach. For instance, we have Spider Fog. It prevents damage and creates 1/2 spiders. We have Baked into a Pie. Destroy target creature. Create a food token. Beast Within creates 3/3. We have Corrupted Conviction. You sacrifice a creature to draw 2 cards, which is pretty easy when you have tokens. Deadly Dispute, same thing. You sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw 2, create a treasure. We got Murder. We got Plumb the Forbidden. It's an additional cost to cast the spell. You may sacrifice 1 or more creatures. When you do, copy it this spell for each sacrificed creature. This way, you draw a card and lose a life. So you can just be careful you don't kill yourself with this. Return to the Wild Speaker. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control, or you can give them Overrun, which is +3/+3. We have Savor. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn and create a food. Second Harvest. For each token you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent. And Tainted Treats. Destroy target artifact or creature. If its mana value was 4 or less, create a food token. For our artifacts, we have Bootlegger's Stash. Lands you control have tap, create a treasure token. We have Chitter Spitter. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a token. If you do, put an acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. Squirrels you control get +1/+1 for each acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. And you can tap 1 green and tap it to create a squirrel token. All of the Chitter Spitters. We have Collector's Vault. You can tap 2, draw a card, then discard a card and create a treasure token. Skull Clamp to clamp our tokens to get us lots and lots of draws. And then we have Sword of the Squeak. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control, base power or toughness of 1. Whenever a hamster, mouse, rat, or squirrel you control enters, you may attach Sword of the Squeak. And now my daughter couldn't find Yamato. He's probably hiding right now. Then we have our enchantments. Bastion of Remembrance. This enchantment enters, you make a 1/1 white human, and whenever a creature you control dies, an opponent loses 1, you gain 1. Beastmaster's Ascension. Whenever a creature you control attacks, you put a quest counter on it. If you have 7 or more, your creatures get +5/+5. We have Cloakwood Hermit at the beginning. Commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step. If a creature with a card was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, create 2 tapped 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. We have Fey Offering at the beginning of each end step. If you've cast both a creature and a non-creature spell, create a clue token, a food token, and a treasure token. Golgari Germination. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you put a 1/1 Saproling creature onto the battlefield. Squirrel Nest enchants a land. You tap the land to make yourself a squirrel. And then we have Utopia Sprawl for a little bit more mana ramp. Lands. I am running Swarmyard. It regenerates insects, rats, spiders, or squirrels. You could probably put in Secret Tunnel and stuff. I just tried to, like I said, keep it super budgety. We have Gingerbread Cabin for food, etc. But, oh yes, and the Shire for food, and we have the Restless Cottage as well. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Sorry this one isn't as high energy, and I had to cut because of my daughter, but parental things come first. I'll try to not go to the hospital again so I can keep up with daily deck techs. But as always, I'm West with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm going to go rest now. And